What's going on, guys? It's Cliffy here, back again for another career mode episode on Bradman Cricket 17. Before we go and get any further on this video, guys, make sure you leave a thumbs up, leave a like. Let's aim for 100 likes on this video, and if you are new, please do hit that subscribe button. So close to 9,000 subscribers, so thank you very, very much for that. As I said, another career mode game. Today we're taking on the Cricket Australia 11, or the Canberra team, in the Australian National Cricket Cup. Let's go and get straight into it. Alright, guys, so we're back in here. I'm kind of hoping that the game doesn't freeze, because I think with the Canberra 11 or Cricket Australia 11 that things sometimes can go a little bit funky. We're in having a bowl. I think we lost the toss, 2 for 42. And the one thing I will say, even though this Cricket Australia 11 or Canberra 11, whatever you want to call it, doesn't have the right kit and the right badge, is that they do have the correct players in there. Like, we've got Hilton Cartwright, who's in there, obviously called up to the Australian Test side not too long ago. Pearson's in there, he's keeping, plays for the Brisbane Heat in the Big Bash League. Mars, I think Swepson's in there as well, who I think is possibly another Heat player, young leg spinner. So all the players in there are correct, which is very good, is what we like to see. I might just try and, I was going to say, surprise him with this one. Just bang in a short one and see how he responds, because it's all been outswingers in this over so far. Cuts it away. What a shot. Where was my third man? I was kind of hoping that he'd go and try and pull it to the leg side. We've got a fielder back there. But nonetheless, a 4 off the last ball, the over to Holder. And that sees Cricket Australia 11 head to, I believe, 2 for 46. Plays are done and dusted, but I am going to stick with this field because as we saw in my... I'm just trying to think what it was. There's a bad bit of fielding, another fielding glitch that needs to be fixed. But as we saw in our, I think, second game of the Shield, we did very, very well with this field, or a field similar to this, I believe, and just going and bowling those little dibbly-dobbly outswingers. The pace is up a bit today, which is good. Normally it's around that 120 just due to the stamina glitch that is in the game, but we are doing fairly well, I must say, at this stage. We've kept it pretty tight, pretty consistent and pretty economical, which is all you can really ask for. And I was going to go into last night, the Sixers and the, I'm just trying to think, the Renegades played. The Renegades, pretty good score first up. I think they got about 170 odd. Tommy Cooper came in and he played quite well, which was good to see for Renegades fans. Narayan at the top, I'm still not quite sure about that selection, what they're really trying to go with and achieve there, because, you know, obviously it does give you a further bowling option at, well, inside the top 6, which a lot of people talk about, obviously, the balance of your side. If you've got a player in there, just like that, boys, Hilton Cartwright is gone. And we will get back to that discussion in just a second. But George Bailey picks up a catch, and Cliff picking up his first wicket of the day, I believe at the end of our second over. So we'll definitely take that. The power play, as I said, has finished. But I do like to stick with that quite attacking field, especially, I must say, especially in, not so much in, well, no, I do keep it in Shield cricket. What am I saying? I think when I go to internationals and play against T20 leagues around the world, I may not persist with this field. But I think playing against lesser opponents, no offence to Cricket Australia 11, but playing against these guys and playing club cricket, the skills and the power isn't really there. So if they're going to go and take me over the top, lob me over the top, I'm not too fussed about that. If they're going to do that, you know, good on them. They can go for it. Ooh, that one there off the pad. If we got that one coming in a bit, it could have been interesting, but it wasn't a way swinger. But yeah, just because they don't have the power, you know, if they want to go and get it over the top, they are going to have to time it exquisitely well. So I don't mind them going and taking that risk, because a lot of the time it does lead to wickets. Anyway, back to that Melbourne Renegades story with Narayan opening their batting. And I think New Zealand have got, when New Zealand went into the third T20 international against Bangladesh, they had a very good form of this. If you have a player inside, a lot of people say the top 6, but 6 is normally reserved for your all-rounder. If you've got a player inside your top 5 who can bowl you some overs, it does make things very, very easy, you know, for a bowling and for a fielding captain, because it gives you that extra option, and it can also help you with the balance of your team. It can allow you to play another batsman, you know, if required. If you're playing on a deck that you're probably going to need some runs, you can potentially go and chuck another guy in there. If not, if you're playing on a deck that, you know, you're probably going to need that extra bowler, playing on possibly a flat deck somewhere, you know, like the UAE or possibly Australia or India, playing on a really flat pitch, you may potentially need an extra bowler. So you can play that extra bowler in there as well, and then still have that guy inside the top 5 who can go and bowl you a little bit. And that's where I said I was going back to New Zealand in that third T20 that they had against Bangladesh, is that they had Jimmy Neesham and Kane Williamson opening, who are both adequate bowlers, I would say, in all forms, I guess. Williamson really has surprised myself and a lot of Kiwis in this series. He's bowled himself a lot more than probably we are used to seeing. And it has been quite effective, whether that's just the wickets we're playing on or he's one of those guys that, Bangladesh probably didn't really do homework on. It's a similar kind of thing with Colin de Grandhomme when he debuted in the Pakistan Test series. All the Pakistan players would have been going and focusing on the likes of Southey and Bolt and Wagner and possibly even Bracewell, Matt Henry, just to see, them. And then de Grandhomme comes in, a guy they've never even heard of, they've never seen, they haven't got any footage of him because we don't really have much footage at a domestic level here in New Zealand. And he goes and he picks up 6 for in the first innings. So you can't ask for much more than that. And normally that happens, that surprise bowler or that new inclusion does go and do very well. That one there is just lobbed up. Man, oh man. But yeah, that's what I think, with the Renegades, it does give them that option. However, I just don't think it's working up the top for Narayan. He hasn't really scored too many runs. I don't think he's got past 20. And they do have that player, as I was talking about, that player in that top 5, and Tom Cooper, who can bowl. And I mean, he is an adequate T20 bowler. He's not really a huge wicket taker, but he will go and do a job for you if required. He'll just be economical, won't go for many. And sometimes that's all you want from one of those guys that's in that top 5. You just want him to go and do a job. He doesn't have to do anything outrageous. He doesn't have to go and be a huge wicket taker, a huge turner of the ball, a huge swinger of the ball. He just needs to be a guy that can get it on a good line and a good length, get it in good areas, and potentially block up an end, especially in T20. If you can get a guy like that to bowl you 2 overs and get through 2 overs from him, you're going to be absolutely over the moon, because it means potentially, one of your full-time bowlers may get hit in the game. I mean, it's T20, it happens every now and again. And it just gives you that option that you don't need to bowl him those other 2 overs, or you can make up those other 2 overs elsewhere, which, at the end of the day is very, very helpful. And it can, it can be a change, especially in T20 cricket. If that guy come back on, he's getting pumped all day, potentially that's the change between a 190 score and a 170 score. And I know that probably doesn't sound like a lot. And T20 is still a relatively new format of the game, you would have to say, in international cricket. But you think 20 runs in a one-day international or a test match, you're like, that's nothing. In 2020 cricket, that is huge. That 20 runs is absolutely massive. If you have a decent, if you get that difference in that 20 runs, and you're only going and chasing, let's say 170, and then you've got a bowler who goes and, not again with the overthrows! Good God! That is frustrating. That was going to be a maiden too. And it's gone for 5 now. That is so frustrating. That's right, I remember now. Back to that score, well, not score debacle, but it does make a huge difference. If you're able to contain someone, oh my goodness! It's going from bad to worse. Overthrows, then a dibbly-dobbly catch, which is dropped by Jackson Bird, one of our... No, I don't think that's Jackson Bird. That might be Caleb Jewell. No, it is definitely Jackson Bird. Jackson Bird's one of our better fielders as well, and he's just dropped an absolute sitter. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But anyway, that 170, it does make a huge difference to a chasing side, those 20 runs. And then if you can get someone else, you get a good few overs in there. It's just not happening for me today. It is just not happening for me today. You get a couple of good overs that, only go for a couple. You get a spinner to really go and tie down one end. All of a sudden, a team looking like they're going to score 190, they've only managed to score 150. And that is huge. That is not just 20 runs. That is 40 runs difference now. And again, looking at one-day internationals, that probably is a little bit more than just the 20 that we were talking about at first. Test matches is getting up there. But if you do think about that, if you think about runs like that, and how you can save them. It can make a huge, huge difference. And a lot of people don't realise that, you know, good work. Oh my God. Is that 6 or caught? That's massive. That is one of the, it's not one of the furthest 6s I've seen in this game, but it is one of the highest. Jesus, that has come right off the bottom of the bat, and it has still absolutely flown over the boundary. That is incredible. What a shot from Holder. He is doing his namesake good, and he is holding this innings together nonetheless. He's got 86. Canberra only 123. And he's got 86 of those. So if we could get him, we did have a chance. Remember Jackson Bird at square leg, but he put him down. It was the simplest of catches, but he's actually gone and put him down. So that is a real shame that he's gone and done that, but that's all right. We'll hopefully get another chance. We've got the field has changed because we are in, I believe, the second power play. I think this is the, I don't know. Is this the batting power play? I think they still have batting power plays in this. Oof! Almost bowling around his legs. You don't want to be doing that too often, Holder. Especially bowling outswing. Why would you do that? You're looking to start it on middle and middle and leg and swing it away. And he's just gone and left one. Unbelievable. I still can't believe we dropped that catch. That's so disappointing. So disappointing. Would have been our second one for the day. Pretty good over apart from that 6 first ball. That was, as I said, that is probably one of the highest 6s I've seen in this game. Not the longest, but the highest. There we go. Now we've got our field in. Get that gully in. We're just bowling away swing all the time. I might switch to some cutters. Apparently cutters are quite effective as well. And just try and get something. I must say, off cutter, I was playing online yesterday against Chiz. And the amount of off cutter and leg cutter bounces I bowled that were effective was crazy. It's just that change of pace. That is big, I must say, for online. For those who haven't played online, changes of pace are huge. They are a massive influence on this game. If you can get it, if you're bowling quick and then chuck in the slow ball at the right time, you're going to be in for a good time. Now Gordon's playing it away. We just can't buy anything today whatsoever. We had those overthrows. We had that dropped catch. So I'm hoping that potentially we can come in and do something with the bat because it just is frustrating. Very frustrating what has happened so far. I'm going to go and try and start pitching it up a bit. Get it on a bit more of a fuller length. And I'm even going to chuck in an innie. Just because I'm kind of hoping that I can just sneak one through the gate. It wasn't bad. That was the kind of shot I was looking for. Just a big expansive drive. But I'm just puzzled. Absolutely puzzled as to why. Oh, that's probably hit him outside the line. I was going to say the day goes from bad to worse, but I mean, that's not a horrible decision. If it was plumb and hitting him, then I would be a bit pissed off. But it hasn't. We've got 2 overs left to go. We'll be kind of hoping. I mean, we've done pretty well. 1 for 28 is very economical. It's what we did back on Don Bradman 14 as well. But I am really looking for some wickets. I'm just trying for anything now. Appeals for caught behinds that have gone miles past the bat. But we just need something. I just need something. Please, game. I still can't believe that Jackson Bird dropped that catch. That changed the game. I wouldn't say it changed the game drastically, but it has made a big difference in this game. A huge difference. I mean, you get Holder out there all of a sudden. I think Gordon wasn't in at that stage, but you get him in. As I said, completely different. He's on 88. He scored over. What was that? He scored over half their runs, and I'm not sure what's happened there. That's a bit of reflex fielding, I think. Don't really know how it happened or why it happened, but that's all right. I'm going to continue with these outswingers, and hopefully, I just want a catch in the gully or a catch at slip would just be amazing. But I bet you now, 5 dot balls going for the maiden, that something strange is going to happen here. Boom, just like that. Punch through point. Same in the last game. For some reason, players will block out or dot up an entire over, and then you get to the last ball, and they will just put you away for a boundary 4. So, again, not a terrible over, but just underdone a little bit by that last ball. So, this is our final over now. We're 1 for 32, which in a one-day game, It's not terrible. It's not great. We would have liked another wicket. We would have liked Jacko Bird to have held on to Holder. That's a mouthful. Don't try and say that. But apart from that, it's not too bad. It is not too bad whatsoever. See, that's the shot I'm looking for. I think I need to pack that region a bit more. Pack that gully and that slip region. Because backward point in the I was going to say in the test matches, in the first class games, backward point was really in business a lot of the time. I think Bailey picked up 3 catches there. It always seems to be George Bailey. They just seem to pick him out when I'm bowling. I think he's over there with that floppy red hat that we've come accustomed to see him wearing. But it's good bowling again. But I'm going to bet you now, the last ball, if this one's not a dot, the last ball's going to go. Because this game does not like playing out maidens whatsoever. Doesn't matter, it doesn't need to, because we've just gone and pumped that one. So we've got Hess for our last ball. And if we can just try and get a bit of magic here, would be a very nice game. We're going to go for the inducker, the quick inducking Yorker. And it's just flicked away with precision. Whew, what a shot. So that's 4. That finishes up our bowling innings, boys. And we do manage to get, obviously, that 1 wicket. Would have been nice if we get a little bit more. We're going to simulate through, and we'll come back with the batting innings. Alright, guys, so we weren't even required to have a bat just due to the fact of Benny Dunk's 100 that he got. Dolan 39 and Jewel 56. We make it on to the bowling chart with 1 for 37, but not the greatest one-day game for us by any stretch of the imagination. But still, a wicket isn't the worst thing that could happen in the world. I'm sure there's a lot worse. The main thing is Tasmania managed to go and pick up this win, a big win as well by 8 wickets. That is going to help our net run rate hugely. But anyway, guys, I'm going to finish things up here. Do hope you've enjoyed this video. Until next time, this is Cliffy, your king of career mode and New Zealand's #1 source of Don Bradman cricket content, signing out.